we have a 2-ply... What's this thing called again? What's up, YouTube? Welcome back. My name's Tony. Because of this pandemic we've been dealing with for the last year and a half, a lot of my meetings with clients or consultations that I offer have been over Zoom or FaceTime or Skype or some other video calling service. Now, before all that went down though, to be honest, I never thought much about USB microphones. To me, they kind of seemed like a gimmick, a very cheap sort of entry-level way to get into podcasting or streaming or even audio recording. But through all those Zoom calls, I found it really handy to have a good USB microphone that I could easily plug into my laptop and be able to sound more professional to my clients. I mean, after all, they're contacting me for recording and sound services. And that brings us to our mic review for today. What I've got for us today is the Maono AU-PM421 USB microphone. Now, Maono did send me this microphone, they did ask me to review it, however, all thoughts and opinions expressed in this video are my own. So, about a year and a half ago, Maono sent me this microphone. And in full disclosure, I actually did record a review of this microphone back then. But for various reasons, that video never got properly edited and it never got released. So I figured I'd take another stab at reviewing this thing so I can show you guys truly what this microphone's all about. Now, before we get to unboxing this microphone, if you would like to support the channel, please hit that like button, that subscribe button, and that notification bell. Doing one or all of those things greatly helps the channel, and it really helps me to make great content for you guys. So here we go. We've got the Maono AU-PM421 microphone. So the back of the box indicates this is a cardioid mic with a frequency response of 20 to 20,000 hertz. But the first thing I noticed is the frequency response chart on the back of this box is far from flat. That is wavy, holy. So it does advertise this as a plug-and-play mic, so it should be very simple to set up. Says it comes with everything that you need to get started, so let's open up this box and see what it actually does come with. Alright, we got our user manual to start. We have a 2-ply pop screen with the company's logo on the front, as well as a windsock style pop filter. On the second row here, we've got our shock mount, our USB cable, a desktop attachable boom arm, and of course the microphone itself. And this is a neat thing that they included, a couple of cable ties with the company name on it also. The pop screen seems to be a pretty decent quality. Plosive, 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 plosive. And of course it's a nice touch that they have their company branding on there. I noticed that the USB cable is actually fairly decently, well, pretty long, which is good. The last USB mic I reviewed, the cable on it was so short that it barely reached from my desktop to my computer. The shock mount seems like your standard, you know, run-of-the-mill shock mount. I think Apex sells these things for about 25 bucks or something. And the mic itself seems pretty small. It's got a gain knob on the front and a mute button right on the front. That's handy. I believe that mute button glows red when the mute is activated and green when there's power to the mic. Well, this thing's advertised as a simple plug-and-play microphone, so let's switch over to the computer here, plug this thing in, and see just how easy it is to get it set up. Check, check, check. What about a little bit more? Check, check. So that was easy as pie to set up. I literally just plugged it in. I had to switch off of ASIO for my input and output from Reaper. I switched it over to Wasapi because I'm on Windows. That's the one that works with Windows 10, which I'm on. Right away it popped up as a USB microphone 2.0 and it started picking up right away. The first thing I noticed about operating this microphone is that gain knob is in a very inconvenient place. In order to actually reach in there and adjust it, I'm kind of like fighting around the shock mount to get there. Now I could always just flip this around, have it coming out the top. That would make it quite a bit easier, but that to me seems like using the shock mount backwards. So I don't know, that's probably just a personal problem. Maybe your mileage may vary. The other thing I found was that because I was kind of fighting around that shock mount, is I was consistently knocking that mute button, which would turn it off right away. It's a very touch-sensitive button, so the smallest touch seemed to set it off. And we're back. When the microphone is powered up, there's a ring around the mute button that glows green, and when you hit the mute button, it turns red. So it's very easy to know when you're muted and when you're not, which is a nice feature. The boom arm seems stable enough, and then it's somewhat gyroscopic. So when you move this thing around, the microphone stays at the same angle. I'm curious though, with these springs on here, how much they would actually resonate and how much that will be getting picked up by the microphone. I suppose I'll find out. Guess I'll find out when I listen back to these tracks. So, the USB cable that it came with was very nice and long, which I really, really liked. I think I mentioned earlier on that the last USB mic that I tested out, the cable was so short it barely reached from where this needed to be to my computer. Probably designed for more of a laptop setup, but I'm running a desktop which is down on the ground. With this cable, however, I've got the mic attached to the left side of my desk, my computer is underneath the right side of my desk, and it went over there with absolutely no problem. So I just took a second to listen back to the voiceover track that I had just been recording for this. The sound of this mic is actually pretty pleasant. You can definitely tell it's designed for streaming or podcasting. It's designed for a voice. You'll notice in the frequency graph that I put up here, there's quite a bit of a bump around 1K, but it seems like there's a major dip around 5K. Probably between 3 and 5K, not exactly 5K. Which, for my voice, seems to work pretty well, because personally I feel like I've got a very nasally voice, so that just naturally kind of cuts that out. There's not a hell of a lot of sparkle and shimmer up in the top end, but again, for voiceover, podcasting, streaming kind of stuff, you don't really want it to be that bright. That's just going to hurt your listeners' ears, really. Hey guys, Tony here. I'm just editing this video right now, and I've noticed through listening to the tracks here that there's quite a noticeable and fairly aggressive bump on this microphone between the 150 and 300 hertz range. Now that's not really anything that a little EQ can't fix, but it's definitely something that I wanted to note in this review video. So yeah, this thing holds up just fine for recording and streaming. Let's see how it works out for music.
Trouble finding the words to get to you, 'cause I don't believe you can. I'm seeing double, the words you say have got me too low, and you treat me so unfair. And I see you pushing me down oh so low I can't read.
So now that I've had some time to work with this mic, what are my final thoughts? Well, as far as voiceover is concerned, I think it did pretty well. It was very easy to set up, and when you do have it set up, yeah, it's a pretty decent sound. There's not a heck of a lot of high end in there, but if you're a beginning podcaster or streamer or something like that, and you don't need a heck of a lot of shimmer in your voice, this thing will do just fine. I do think it was quite well suited to my voice, but everybody's voice is different, so it may not work for yours. In terms of music production, after recording the acoustic guitar today, I kind of found that I had the same opinion of it as I did when I did this review about a year and a half ago, the one that never got released, which is why I decided to keep the rest of the tracks from that video. I found it to be very lacking in the high end, which is something that I'm always looking for in music production. Now, I wasn't exactly expecting that out of an $80 mic, and that's not even really a slight on this product, but I can't exactly say I would recommend it for music production. Anyways guys, thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more content similar to this, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, leave me a bunch of comments down below and let me know what you thought about this microphone. And if you'd like to support this channel even further, follow the link down in the description to buy me a coffee. I'm a big fan of coffee. Thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you next time.